Credo Voices, the podcast where we bring you inspiring stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. I'm your host, Awele Okibo, the CEO of Credo Advisory.
Across the globe, technology drives economies and shapes the future, yet access to education and careers in tech remains uneven, especially for women in developing countries. According to the Global Gender Gap Report 2023, women comprise only 29.2% of the STEM workforce in 146 nations evaluated, compared to nearly 50% of non-STEM occupations. Despite the growing demand for tech talent, these disparities persist, limiting opportunities for women to thrive. Today on Credo Voices, we head to Zurich, Switzerland, to meet Marion Schleifer, co-founder of Code Blossom, an initiative that equips women in developing countries with the skills, mentorship, and job opportunities needed to thrive in tech. Marion shares her path into the industry, the power of role models, and how Code Blossom bridges the gender divide. Join us for an inspiring conversation on unlocking women's potential in tech and driving progress toward SDG 4, quality education, SDG 5, gender equality, and SDG 8, decent work and economic growth.
So thank you so much, Awele, for inviting me to your podcast. I'm very happy to be here. Just to introduce myself, I'm Marion. I'm joining from Zurich, Switzerland, and I co-founded Code Blossom last year. I think that's the reason why I'm invited to this podcast.
Yes, and Marion, it's great having you on Credo Voices. We're so excited because you've been doing a lot of work in the tech space. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey into tech?
Yes, that's actually a funny story. I actually have a non-technical background. I did my bachelor's in communication and then my first master's in business administration. And then I decided to switch careers to tech. And I started first learning to program by myself. Then I did an internship and then did another master's in software engineering. And this is how I got into the industry of tech.
Marion, I think you're the first comms person I know that transitioned from comms to tech. And you had me at comms because, as you know, I'm a comms fiend, and it's incredible that you transitioned, but you found your calling, it seems.
Yes, I did. I actually, when I finished my bachelor's and first master's, I was actually looking for a challenge because other people I graduated with went on to work for insurances and banks. And I was just like, I'm not done learning. And this is one of the reasons why I moved into tech. Also, a lot of people that I know who have very inspiring careers were in tech. And I just felt like there's a lot of opportunities for me to learn and grow.
That's interesting. Now, but you chose a field that is actually has very, women are not represented in the tech space.
Yes.
So it's actually great that women like you are, are now transitioning and really disrupting the space. And I'd love to hear more around your work. So can you, first of all, give us an example, or just give us a little bit of a idea of what it's like maybe in Zurich, with women participating in tech, and just paint a picture for us and for our audience.
Yes. Actually, I think it's almost the same in the whole of Europe and the US. I don't know so much about the rest of the world, but I think everywhere women are underrepresented in tech. And it's a little bit sad because when you look at the university graduates in the tech industry, it's actually not that different from men to women. But then it changes, and because the working environment can be quite harsh, either women, they get out of tech completely, or they move into like project management roles or people management roles, and actually away from the technical part of the job, which is very sad because obviously these are very talented programmers. And my goal is to get more women to stay with the technical jobs.
So, Marion, I want us to unpack that, and just so I'm clear. So you have all these
Yes.
incredible women going into a field where there's clear underrepresentation, and then they get all the training, and you say, at what point did you see the trend where they're leaving?
I feel like it starts already in software teams when it comes to individual contributors, like a job as a software developer.
Yeah.
Because if you're in a team of, let's say, 7 people and you're the only woman, it can be, it can be fun if you have a good team, but it can also be a little bit lonely, and
Yeah, I can
and you can feel
imagine.
excluded as well.
Of
And then
course.
obviously it gets worse and worse the more you try to climb up the career ladder. Like
As
in
is
middle
in every
management,
field, as we
exactly.
see across
Exactly.
the, professional, world, the higher up you go, the colder it gets.
Yes, correct.
So thank
Yes.
you, Marion. Let's talk
Yes.
about Code Blossom. I love that name. And can you tell us, how did you start it? Tell me what you're doing with Code Blossom.
I was thinking in the last 5.5 years, I've been working in the tech industry in one company called Hasura. The company is in San Francisco, and I worked myself up from developer to middle management. So then I was thinking, like, it's time for me now to help others do the same. And I'm specifically passionate about developing countries because for me, there's so much potential, and there's like so many low hanging fruits in the sense of so many women who are intelligent and want to do something. The only thing they're missing is an opportunity. So I was thinking, instead of focusing on my own career, I would like to help others now to be able to get their first steps in the tech industry. And this is why I co founded Code Blossom. We support women, we give free education to women in developing countries to start their career in tech. It's a 9 month program
Oh,
that they can join us for. And in the end, when they graduate, we help them find jobs
that's
in the industry as well.
incredible. Oh my goodness. Marion, can you tell me what countries are you working in so far?
Yes, at the moment we have classes in Pakistan, El Salvador, and the Philippines. And last week we actually expanded to Africa, our first African country in Malawi. And we have classes coming up in Zambia and in Afghanistan as well.
Oh, wow, that's incredible. And can you walk us through, how does it work? How do you set it up? How do you find the your students? I'm assuming everything is obviously online. Can you just
Yes.
walk us through how it works?
Yes, so I only operate in countries where I have a local person who can help me with all of this, because I don't have access to these women
Yes.
who are interested in these opportunities. So, in all of these countries that we're operating in, I have a person who's sharing this program with their network and then helps me find participants. Now, then we interview them, make sure that they can actually commit to the time that we require from participants, which is around 6 hours per day for a 5 day work week. And then we accept them to the program. And the way it works, it is fully online. It's also self-paced, so we give them the curriculum and they work on it by themselves. They do have Everybody has access to a mentor that checks in with them. They have a call every week, and we
Wow.
have several other live sessions as well, like mentor hours, that is with a full group to do demos and answer questions. And we also have social skills session where participants learn things like behavior in the workplace, public speaking, how do I write my CV, so that they kind of not only learn the technical things, but also all the soft skills to be successful in a software team.
The gender gap in tech isn't just about numbers, it's about missed potential. Through Code Blossom, Marion Schleifer and her team are ensuring more women gain education, mentorship, and career pathways in technology by providing them with free certification programs to enable them to become full-stack developers. Operating in Pakistan, El Salvador, the Philippines, Malawi, Zambia, and Afghanistan, Code Blossom provides free education, mentorship, and job placement. Their 9-month program includes technical and soft skills training, financial support, and flexible learning for women with diverse commitments.
That's absolutely phenomenal. And what are some of the challenges you're finding in just connecting with people, in country, getting your participants? For instance, I'm happy to hear that, you've set up something in Malawi, in Afghanistan, but access should be a challenge for some of them. It's something as simple as even just connectivity. Can you talk a little bit about that and some of
Yes,
those challenges?
yes. We actually have these problems also in the Philippines where there's a lot of storms and then the connectivity also is sometimes interrupted. But yes, especially also now in Malawi, we have this issue and it will probably be the same with other countries when we start with them as well.
Yeah.
Since the whole program is self-paced, for us it's not a big problem. We definitely don't reject any participants who has flaky internet connections, so we make it work. And for the live sessions, sometimes participants cannot attend due to lack of electricity or any other problems. Then we always record all the sessions and participants can catch up with
Oh,
them
that's
in the
great.
recording,
Oh,
so
that's
we make
great.
sure they still get all the information.
Absolutely. And it sounds like you're really making sure that they're able to finish and benefit from
Yes.
the program. What kind of women are in your program? Can you give us an idea of the age and these stay-home moms who are really now ready to get back into the workforce, or is it just students? I'd love to hear more.
Yes, that's a very good question. So the only thing that all these women have in common is that they're overaged. So until now, we haven't had any underage girls or women. And the other like demographic details are very different. So we have young moms who have small children. We have a few a little bit older ladies who have children that reach adulthood, and we have women who don't have children. We also have students.
Oh,
So once a participant can commit to the time, then we also have some other requirements, like they have to know English. This is just a requirement because you have to be able to read the documentation for
yes.
programming, and you will also not find a job without English. So these things are our requirements, but then from age to what are they doing is actually not important to us.
Oh, that's wonderful. Along the lines of access, can people with lesser means afford the program? Are there any kind of social benefits that you give, so people are able to,
Yes.
still be accepted into the program? Just the financials. Can you tell us a little
Yes.
bit more about that?
That's a good question. So yes, we do offer help, and we have some sponsors who are very passionate about also paying for hardware. So with the upcoming Afghanistan class, they don't have laptops. So we provide 10 laptops to and accept 10 participants who cannot afford it. We will send them the laptops, and then they will be able to join. And the other thing is, once they get a little bit further in the program, we have things called paid projects. So after every 3 modules that we have in the course, they build a larger project. And in the beginning, this is a portfolio website for themselves. And then when the mentor has gave their feedback and kind of approved the project, then we will pay them a small amount. It's more like symbolic amount
Yeah,
of
like a
money, maybe like
stipend. Yeah, just
$50 or something.
yes.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
but for them it's a significant amount, and we also want them to get used to the kind of feeling of I'm working and I'm getting paid,
of
because that's what we want for them after the program.
Of course. Is there any one woman, or I'm sure there may be more than one, that you feel, wow, her transition since from the start to the end has been remarkable? Is there a success story or an experience or a story that you can share that really made you proud and really highlighted the impact of Cold Blossom?
Yes, so yeah, actually a few. So we have a thing called All Hands Call. It's our monthly meeting where the whole organization comes together, all classes over all countries and continents. And then we have in each call we have one person participant showcase who will talks about her story. And this is always very emotional them like presentation, because usually they come from very difficult backgrounds, and I've heard so many things like Code Blossom is my family, and now for the
Oh.
first time I have something just for myself and not for like things that I do for my family and others. So one specific woman, she has a bachelor in some medical medicine or something
Mhm.
in Pakistan, and she was never able to work because as a mom she had to stay at home. So she was not able to have her own career, and now she found this coding stuff. Even though she was not, she thought that she can't make it in the beginning, now she's very passionate and she works in the night, she's studying very persistently, and now she has been able to build her first website for a customer. So
Oh
this is a
my
very
gosh,
nice success
Marion.
story. Yes.
That is incredible. And what I'm also hearing is, I mean, this is a challenge millions of women face.
Yes.
Being close to home, you have children, you have your family, and still earning a living, and or just having your own, your own ambition. So it's sounding like, thanks to your program, a number of women are able to still do both, where they work from home and earn a living, which is where this is how tech has really evolved, and one of the many benefits of the the evolving tech industry. People get to stay home and still have their passions and dreams and have their careers where they can be financially independent and viable. So I think that's
Yes, and
absolutely
even have
incredible.
something that is just belongs just to them, right? And this is how I got the idea, because I was traveling to some of these developing countries, and then I see so many women who have high education, bachelor's, master's. They are very intelligent and they also want to do something. They have the time because they have more than 8 hours of time to work. But the thing is, they cannot leave the house for a job.
Yeah.
They have to stay at home because
Oh,
of the family. So my goal is to use this brain power and at the same time solve the problem of diversity, gender diversity in the tech industry. So it should be a win-win situation.
oh, that's great. Now, you talked about diversity. How do you ensure that your participants are as inclusive as possible? Yes, you have, these women who are looking to sharpen their toolkit. They want to be able to learn a new field. How are you ensuring that in selecting them, it's still a diverse group of women?
When we have applications, and depending on the country, we have a lot. For example, I did a webinar in the Philippines, an online webinar, and after this we got 600 applications in I think
Wow.
5 days. So then it's a little bit difficult to select, but at the same time it's also not difficult because we have this online form that people fill in for the applications. And if somebody only writes like 3 words to answer a question, then
Yeah.
we select them out. Like, but if somebody explains why they want to do
Yes.
a code blossom and what they want to achieve, and then we see so many beautiful things like I want to start my own business, I want to be a role model for my daughters, and all of these things. And so far we've been able to accept all the participants that applied with a very strong
Yeah, strong
purpose.
application.
Yeah.
That's really impressive. And you mentioned mentors. How do you get your
Yes.
mentors? Can you tell us who they are, where they are? You guys are doing incredible work, and clearly you have a good partnership, and you have a good group of people who are helping you implement a lot of these programs.
Yes. So at the moment, so I have to say that Code Blossom is still very young. We're less than 1 year old. At the
Oh,
moment, we have one full time mentor who's in Pakistan. She's mentoring most participants at the moment. We do, and she is a paid employee in the project. Then we have a few volunteer mentors that are in the West, like we have one in Canada, we have a few in Europe, who just help out on a case by case basis. They do sessions, but they don't necessarily have specific people to mentor. And now we are expanding like we want to scale the project. So we're looking for funding, for example, for a Philippines project where we want to onboard 100 people before the end of February next year. And as part of this project, we would hire 3 more mentors in the Philippines, because I think it's also important that participants are comfortable with the person, and their culture plays a very
Yes.
important role in that
Yeah.
case as well. So whenever, now that we ran a few pilots and we basically did things by ourselves, I mean mostly Sana, who's employed in Pakistan, but now we basically want mentors in place to be able to answer questions of participants, also because of time zone.
The fact that you're able to achieve all of this in 1 year is absolutely incredible, and that you were
Thank you so much.
recognized as a vital voice scholar. That's how we connected. I mean, you
Yes.
also, your team, you also won the Hidden Figures Award. I mean, these are incredible achievements for something that just started in a short amount of time with a quite lean team. It speaks a lot about the impact you're having, Marion.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think everything is mostly about purpose and passion.
Yeah.
Because as I said before, I still have a full time job on the side, but I'm really passionate about empowering women. I'm really passionate about kind of unlocking potential that's there, but not yet, nobody has unlocked it. So it really drives me. And this is also why we can make the work efficient. And of course, none of this would be possible without the team. We have a leadership team of 5 people. Everybody's working in their free time for the project, and I think my purpose also is to get them as excited about the project as I am, so that we can do this meaningful work.
Wow. And so, in doing that meaningful work, your field is ever evolving. The tech space, I mean, apps come out like by the second. So, how do you
Yes,
prepare or tailor your programming to align with these emerging technologies? For instance, AI. AI has
yes.
completely disrupted the space. How do you pivot when you have these new trends that are kind of changing the landscape?
Yes, very good question. So, yes, as you said, things change in the tech industry very fast, much faster than in other industries. And one of the things we do is we constantly consult with industry professionals to update and validate our curriculum. In addition to that, we just started a pilot for an AI course that people who graduated from the normal software development course can put on top of their education by learning AI as well. And we're also working on a course that is only AI. So, yes, we need to catch up. AI developers are more in demand than ever. So, we just want to make sure that we jump on this train
Yes.
and get as many women in the space as possible.
Absolutely. You talked, what really resonated for me also was you said you want to really empower women, and this is clearly passion driven. Because of the underrepresentation in tech, there is a need for young women, for girls to really see these opportunities.
Yes.
What do you think? How should what should a 17-year-old, my 17-year-old daughter, I have a daughter who's 17, and I remember my husband and I were, we were telling her, coding is going to be like the universal language. Everyone needs to be able to speak this
Mhm.
new language. So how do you get girls involved? What are some, initiatives, and what are things that we should be telling girls and women, so that space is equally represented with women?
Yes, that is a very important question. I think, first of all, we need more women role models who are in the space and who are successful and who stick with the space and don't leave because they're the only woman. Then girls will see that and hopefully they will feel like following along as well. But as long as you don't see anybody in the space that these girls can kind of, empathize with, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is, I think what we should tell these girls is that there's still the belief that you need to be talented in math or physics or something to be a good developer, and that's not the case at all, because I personally was very bad at math and physics and all of these topics, and I still made it even as a career change. So you don't even have to be particularly like it's super genius or something. You can
Yes.
Everybody can learn it, and I think that's so important to know.
Yeah, Marion, because STEM really, and there's been this huge, like, movement to get more women in STEM fields. I'm not
Yes.
quite sure, I know there's a lot of discussion around it, but there is that deterrent where a lot of women and girls are discouraged because you feel you have to have, be a math whiz or a chemistry, so you're absolutely
Yes.
correct. We need to kind of demystify is the wrong word, but we need to really make STEM accessible. And it's all around
Yeah.
the messaging, is what we tell our girls in schools and at home. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Where do you see Code blossom in 5 years? Where will you be? What countries?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that in 5 years we currently have around 50 women in the program. I'm hoping by 5 years we will have at least 100, like 10 times more. Yeah, we're also working on a tool that will be able to leverage AI for the teaching, which makes it even more playful and fun and also personalized for these women to learn. And if we manage to implement this, then we will be able to scale the project and affect many more women. And another thing that I would love to do is expand to more and more country. And for this, I'm always looking for people who are in countries that we haven't expanded to. There's no reason that we are not there, except that I don't know anybody in these countries. So if anybody's interested who's listening to this podcast, please reach out, and I would love to set up in new countries as well.
Marion, you beat me to it. I will connect you with a few people in Nigeria who are doing similar work,
Perfect.
and I think there's definitely opportunities for collaboration. This is what we do, connecting each other. That's how, you're able to get into these countries and you're able to have partners. You don't have to be physically there, but it's to really grow your
Yes,
network. So that's something I will do
exactly.
on my end. And that's why
Thank
we
you so
wanted
much.
to hear your story, so that people are aware, and it's out there, and hopefully that will lead to even more partnerships. Beyond, for our listeners, beyond getting involved and reaching out to you, how else, what other support do you need?
Yes, so at the moment we're looking to fund a few projects. One, as I mentioned before, is in the Philippines. We want to we want to add more people to our Malawi group, and we want to expand in Africa. We currently have opportunities in Zambia, and now you mentioned Nigeria as well. So funding is one of the things we're looking for.
Okay.
Then another thing is we always look for mentors who are in these countries and or near these countries but similar time zones that would be willing to help us,
Mm-hmm.
of course, also once we get the funding with paid options as well. And otherwise, the third thing would be just to spread the word. And if you have women in a network, and if you are in one of these countries, just tell them about Code Blossom, and we can have a chat with them. Even if it's not the right time now to join, there will always be opportunities later. But then at least they get in touch. They can subscribe to the newsletter, and then we can work with them going forward.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Marion. It's been a pleasure. We will certainly do our part to get, your story and get the word out.
Thank you so much.
Before we close, I like to, once in a while we do something fun, and it's like a rapid fire session. I'll give you
Okay.
two words, and you just pick this or that. Just pick the first thing that comes to mind. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. AI, tool or trap?
Track.
Hardware or software?
Software.
CTO or CEO?
CTO.
I knew you'd pick that one. Coding or design?
Coding.
And e-books or physical books?
Surprisingly, physical books.
Oh, I
I
love
still like
that.
them.
Marion, I cannot get into ebooks. I just love the
Yeah.
touch, and I love the smell of books.
Yes, me too. And I love that you to see the progress. Like when you have this reading mark and you see like, oh, I have already read half of the book. It sounds very childish, but I kind of want to see where.
I
Yeah.
know, I feel the same way. My husband is all about, his iPad. He reads all his books, and I'm just like, okay, I have to go and get another
Yeah.
book, like physical. Yes. Oh, Marion, this was such
Yeah.
a joy and pleasure having you. Thank you for sharing your story and the incredible work you're doing. I'm sending you all encouragement, and we will certainly connect you with some people we know in a few countries, particularly in Nigeria, to see how hopefully they can either be mentors or yeah.
That is great. Thank you so much. And also, Awele, thank you so much for inviting me and for doing this meaningful work of giving people a voice. I really appreciate it. And since I now know about the podcast, I will obviously subscribe to it and follow what you're doing as well. So, all the best to you as well.
Thank you, Marion. Thanks so much.
Marion Schleifer's work with Code Blossom is proof that access creates opportunity, and opportunity changes lives. By removing barriers that keep women out of tech, she's not just teaching coding, she's building a movement that empowers women to step confidently into the industry. With support from sponsors and donors, Code Blossom provides laptops, paid projects, and mentorship, ensuring women can complete their training and gain hands-on experience. More than skills, the program instills confidence, resilience, and a sense of belonging in an industry where women remain underrepresented.
Thank you for listening. Until next time, stay curious and keep believing in the power of your voice. This is Awele Okibo, signing off for Credo Voices.